In a small, forgotten village at the edge of a sprawling forest, there was an old house. It had been abandoned for decades, though no one in the village would dare to speak of it. It was known only as, for even the wind refused to make noise as it passed through its broken windows. But for young Leah, who had just moved to the village with her parents, the house wasn't frightening. It was fascinating. One autumn afternoon, while exploring the outskirts of the village, Leah's curiosity got the better of her. She wandered toward with its rotting wood and dark, sunken windows. As Leah approached the house, she noticed something strange. Despite the silence, she heard whispers. They were faint, almost like the soft hiss of the wind, but clearer, more deliberate. Ignoring the prickling at the back of her neck, she pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The house smelled of damp wood and decay, yet something felt off. The whispers grew louder. They seemed to come from beneath her feet, from the very floorboards. Leah crouched down and placed her ear to the ground. The voice whispered, clear and desperate. Startled, she leaped back, heart racing. But again, her curiosity overpowered her fear. Grabbing a nearby rusty crowbar, she pried open one of the old floorboards. There, in the dim light filtering through the dusty windows, Leah saw something that made her stomach churn. A thick layer of dirt, but something else. Something was buried beneath it. Her hands trembled as she brushed the soil away, revealing an old yellowed bone. Suddenly, the temperature in the room plummeted. A freezing draft swept through the house, making the windows rattle violently. Leah's breath clouded in the air as the whispers grew into a chorus, loud and desperate. Panicking now, Leah scrambled to cover the bone, but the more she dug, the more bones appeared. She realized with horror that the entire floor was hiding a grave. Dozens of skeletons were buried beneath the house. And then, something cold wrapped around her ankle. Leah looked down, and to her terror, one of the skeletons had risen. Its bony hand gripped her leg, its empty eye sockets staring into her soul. Before she could scream, the room began to shake violently. The floorboards split open, revealing a dark, gaping pit beneath, and from it, more skeletons clawed their way out. They weren't just bones, they were spirits, trapped in the earth for centuries. The whispers had been their warnings, but now their patience was gone. They wanted revenge. Leah tried to run, but the floorboards beneath her feet crumbled, sending her tumbling into the pit. She screamed as she fell, the cold hands of the dead dragging her down, deeper and deeper. The last thing she heard before darkness consumed her was their final whisper. Days passed, and the village went on as usual. The silent house stood as it always had, undisturbed, silent. Leah's parents searched for her, but no one dared to look inside the house. And if you listen closely at night, if the wind is just right, you might hear whispers rising from the earth. The villagers know not to listen, but every now and then, a curious soul like Leah dares to enter, and never comes out.